And you know what you told me? She has no security. She doesn't deal with the shit we have to deal with. She's a piece of shit. She's making everyone else suffer. And all of these conservatives out there that send me these messages have no balls to call her out.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?
Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and guess what? The MAGA conservative arena continues to absolutely implode and melt down. And new week, new beef, new week, new drama. And who's going at it this week? Yes, Tim Pool, or as the internet's now calling him, Juicy Poolette, after the recent attacks on his house, and Candace Owens. Now, what is this all about? Well, from what I've seen in Tim's recent crash out is he believes that Candace Owens is the Antichrist. Candace Owens is basically responsible for everything bad in the world. She's responsible for MAGA fracturing. She's going to be responsible for Republicans losing the midterms. She's responsible for Charlie Kirk's death. She's responsible for TPUSA fracturing and falling apart. She's responsible for the war in Ukraine, for long COVID, for the extinction of the dodo bird, and go on and on and on. Now, let's jump into this and dissect this incredible crash out from Beanie Shapiro. But first, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Helps the channel. Also, if you want to support the channel, vote for us for Most Influential Man of the Year at the Gundies. Thank you very much. All right, let's jump into it and take a look at this drama. Okay, so some quick background before we jump into the clips. What happened? Essentially, Tim came out, attacked Candace, said she was evil, said she was going to be responsible for the Republican Party losing the midterms. Supposedly, his house gets shot at the next day, and he comes out the day after that on this epic rant meltdown, this emotional catastrophe that rivals some of my 12-year-old daughter's best, and this happened.
This is what happens after Charlie Kirk is killed. Candace Owens is a evil scumbag. She is a degenerate. She is burning everything down, and she's gloating and smiling while she does it. And you know what you told me? She has no security. She doesn't deal with the shit we have to deal with. She's a piece of shit. She's making everyone else suffer. And all of these conservatives out there that send me these messages have no balls to call her out. More and more people have started doing it. They send me these messages. Good for you, Tim. Good for you, Tim. I wasn't the first person to do it. I'm not going to take credit for that. But don't DM me like I did something for you as you cower, scared that she'll put you on her thumbnail and claim you benefited from Charlie Kirk's assassination, which he's doing to me right now.
Yeah, that was
I'm done with these people.
So, whoa. Tough guy Tim, definitely a new persona for him, for sure, because yes, as he says there, he's the only brave conservative standing in the breach, taking on the evil Candace Owens. That was wildly embarrassing. Okay, here's the thing, guys. The entire point of being a conservative man is to be traditionally masculine, stoic. And with that comes being in control of your emotions, especially anger more than anything. And what you see there is just a fragile, weak little man lashing out, verbally berating a woman on the internet, calling her an evil C word, and saying Candace Owens is responsible for all the problems he has and why he's not safe, and it's all her fault. I mean, this is embarrassing stuff. This is just emotional, again, 13-year-old girl behavior. And to all the young men out there watching this, that is the exact thing you should strive not to be as a man. Okay, so we all understand that. Because at the end of the day, Candace Owens isn't responsible for any of Tim's problems or all of the issues he has, or the supposed attacks on his house, or fracturing the MAGA movement, or ruining the Republican Party. An independent YouTuber is not burning the whole system down. And if Candace Owens really was able to fracture the Republican Party, ruin the MAGA movement, do all of these different things by herself from her podcast studio, that just means that movement is weak and pathetic to begin with. And look, I'm not here to say it didn't happen. I'm actually the one who's come out and believed pretty much everybody who said they've had attacks or threats on their life. Why? Well, because we saw 2 attempts on Trump's life. We saw Charlie Kirk get shot in the face. Nick Fuentes had someone come to his house to try to kill him that was killed outside his home. Benny Johnson just supposedly had someone show up his house and they had the camera footage for it. Candace Owens obviously has threats on her life. I think those are fairly credible. But the difference is that Tim calls Candace out and says the threats on her life aren't credible because she hasn't provided evidence. Well, let's take a look at this. Because I am the one guy that will almost always believe your stories on this because I understand violence and violent people, and I think it's a real threat to a lot of prominent people. But this one specifically, Tim's, is actually the only one I'm suspicious of. Now, this was asked to Grok just yesterday. It says, is there a police report yet? Last I checked, there wasn't one. Not saying he's lying, just want to prove the legitimacy. At Grok, has there been a police report made Tim Pool yet concerning the assassination attempt? Grok says, as of December 7th, 2025, public sources show no confirmation of a police report filed in the incident at Tim Pool's property. Pool posted that his security team is reviewing the footage and will relay details to law enforcement. No official statements from authorities yet. Now, this is where all my suspicions and eyebrows raise, and it's this comment right here. Tim posted that his security team is reviewing the footage and will relay details to law enforcement. Yeah, that's not how any of this works. If your home is shot at, yeah, you're not going to have your security guards, we'll review the footage and we'll decide if we want to coordinate with the police and relay the information to them. No, you call 911, the police show up, they see what happened, and they get a detective to investigate it. That's how this works. So I'd be interesting to see, if there is a police report, feel free to show it. Because again, I'm not saying this isn't true, but I am saying that is a very, very bizarre thing to say. And then Grok went on to say, and I didn't know this, Tim Pool has claimed multiple incidents like this, latest being December 5th. And this person says, as soon as stories drop and ratings are down, an incident occurs on their property. Maybe it really did happen. And if it did, drop the tapes. I mean, maybe it did, maybe it didn't. I do think the timing is very, very odd and very suspicious. Again, Tim comes out, attacks Candace Owens, and then this happens the very next day, and then he comes out and rants and blames it on Candace Owens. I mean, that seems a little bizarre. And again, I don't know, but at least according to Grok, nothing's been done about this. And I can tell you this, if you did a drive-by shooting on my home, the very first thing I'm doing is calling 911 and notifying the police immediately. Me personally. Now, guys, if you want to avoid ending up like this, you got to get to the gym. And if you're going to hit the gym, you got to have your supplementation right. And that brings us to our partners at Tasty Gains Creatine Gummies. You guys know I love Tasty Gains. Now, creatine, if you're not already on it, it's the best supplement you can take. Probably the safest, healthiest one you can take as well. Okay, it's going to increase your muscle endurance, your muscle strength. You're going to build muscle. Your recovery is going to be faster. It's got great cognitive effects for your brain. All of those things you're going to get with creatine. And Tasty Gains has blown up as a product for good reason. It tastes amazing. You don't have to deal with shitty, gritty creatine. Pop a couple gummies, get your creatine monohydrate. It's all organic. All right, so if you're not already, it's time to get on creatine. Fantastic supplement, even for women and even teenagers, guys. So if you've got a young athlete in your house, not a bad idea as well. Okay, so head on over, pin comment, links in the description. Grab yourself some Tasty Gains. Then Tim came out and said, alert, Tim Pool may end show in 2 weeks over extreme security needed to keep violent leftists away from staff. It feels like very National Enquirer drum up drama slop to what looks to be trying to drum up some fake beef with Candace Owens to try to help out the ratings and viewership. At least from the outside looking in, that's what this whole thing sort of looks like. And then Tim also had this to say.
Republicans lose in the midterms. I believe that Candace Owens is wholly responsible. She is one of the biggest podcasts on the right doing everything to go to war with the organization that helped get Trump elected. Turning Point specifically was going out and registering people to vote. Without Charlie, it's in trouble. Turning Point needs to be able to go out and rally young people and register them to vote. And she's doing everything she can to destroy that. What I care about is what is true and what will help this country and what works. And she is a scumbag. Okay. And she's getting worse every day. And she crossed the line. She continually crosses the line every day, insinuating that Turning Point literally killed the guy who made them all rich. And I hear this in the streets. And at a certain point, I'm like, holy shit, we're going to lose the midterms. We're going to lose the midterms. Then we're going to lose in 2028. And it's because she's a piece of shit.
Okay. So we all understand how retarded that sounds, right? That Candace Owens is the one that's going to be responsible for Republicans losing the midterms in 2028 because Turning Point USA won't be able to register young voters? Really? That's what we're saying? No, it's not the fact that, I don't know, Donald Trump has just turned into an America Last, Israel First president. We're just giving $40 billion to Argentina, still funding the war in Ukraine. You know, the genocide in Gaza continues. But let's look at domestically. What's going on? Economy's in the absolute shitter. Affordability crisis. Worst labor market in 20, 30 years. People can't afford rent. They can't afford food. Young people coming out of colleges can't get jobs because the labor market's so bad. Farmers and ranchers are going under at a rapid pace. The average age of a first-time home buyer is 40 years old. The average age of a home buyer in general is 60 years old. The Epstein files are being covered up and not released. No accountability for anything. No arrests for anyone. I don't know, involving COVID, January 6th. Nothing ever happens. We all know that. So what exactly do you mean Candace will be responsible for Republicans losing? The Republican Party will be responsible for Republicans losing because they haven't done anything with the complete consolidation of power. They have control of the House, the Senate, the presidency, a Supreme Court majority, and they can't pass a single bill. The Democrats are getting more bills across the line than Republicans even are. So no, nobody gives a fuck about Republicans losing the midterms because we all know, one, it's going to happen, and two, it's not going to change anything. Republicans aren't doing anything anyway. So, okay, now we put Democrats in the House and Senate majority, and there's a lame duck president, and nothing happens. Nothing's going to change. That's why no one cares. And yeah, Republicans are probably going to lose 2028. The reason why? Because people like you with the yarmulke hidden under your beanie are going to try to spoon feed us Peter Thiel's little creation, J.D. Vance. And let's just see what other people had to say. We're going to look at what other conservative talking heads responded to this. And also we're going to look at Tim Pool's own comment section here in a second. All right, so the Hodge twins here says Republicans won't lose the midterms because of Candace Owens. They will lose the midterms because no deep state criminals have been held accountable. They will lose because we are still sending our money to corrupt foreign countries. They will lose because America Last traders like Lindsey Graham are getting promoted. It's simple. Republicans will lose because they aren't listening to the people that voted for them. Duh.
Like, wow. Someone took a sledgehammer to the right coalition and splattered it.
I get why he's demoralized, but I would not be pointing the finger at Candace and Tucker. I'm disappointed when Tim Pool and other men I see doing all this whining about division and Candace and Tucker and they've ruined everything. No, whoever assassinated Charlie Kirk ruined everything.
All right, and what he said there is actually really important because it's what I've been harping on this channel over and over and over again, and that is, it is just time for the conservative movement to just be done with all of these effeminate, emotionally, physically weak men who are fake conservatives that are LARPing as being masculine when none of them can bench more than 135 pounds. Okay, it's embarrassing. None of these people could protect anything. None of them are capable of any real violence. There's no stoicism involved. All of these things that are supposed to be the foundation of conservative masculinity and conservative men are completely devoid and have been utterly hijacked from people like Tim here. And I want to look at some posts just from Tim's own Instagram page because he keeps attacking Candace, right? And what I like to do is just go ahead and look right at his comments. Let's see what his own audience has to say. All right, Tim posts, Candace is so fucking easily played. And immediately his audience, top comment, Tim, imagine if you got this upset at who actually pulls the strings to both the left and the right. We're definitely going to vote our way out of this, aren't we? LOL. Okay, Beanie Shapiro. She smoked you, Tim. The fall of Tim Pool should be studied. This was so bad for you. I thought this was on Candace's page, not yours. Laughing emoji. All right, here's another one of Tim's posts. It says here, how come the first reaction is Candace got hoaxed? Very first top comment, Team Candace. Next comment, Tim, your career is about to parallel Ben Shapiro's here in a bit with the route you're going. Tim, bro, Candace is the only one actually doing anything worth a damn. Sad that you're not doing the same. Team Candace. Tim, it's okay, bro. Keep sitting on the fence like you usually do on the most important topics. All right, the clip we showed earlier, first comment, 5,000 likes, Tim Pool is a tool, Beanie Shapiro. We are losing the midterms because of the 180 Trump pulled, straight up. All right, here's the other one we watched earlier. It says, top comment, Tim Pool, who got paid by the Russian government to make this podcast, same guy, question mark? So yes, the vast majority of conservatives have come out and said Tim sounds absolutely stupid here, but who's agreeing with Tim? That's the closer thing we should look at. And wouldn't you be surprised to find out it's the 7K Club, of course. And when this person is who's aligned with you ideologically, all caps, we are going to lose the midterms and our entire country will be flooded with Islamic propaganda. Wake up, exclamation mark. Yes, Laura Jigsaw Loomer is on your team. Sorry for the jump scare, everyone. And anytime you need to know if you're on the right moral side of an issue, really all you got to do is go over to Larry Loomer's page there. And whatever she's saying, if you take the opposite side of that, you're probably going to be in the right. And so, yes, Tim has decided, unfortunately, that his team is Laura Loomer and Mark Levine and Lindsey Graham and Ted Cruz and Randy Fine and Officer Tatum. Cool, man. We take you real seriously. But to wrap it up, let's see what Candace had to say in response.
How the am I even supposed to sell this property?
So there's a lot to unpack there. First and foremost, what you are seeing right there is on a display of testosterone. Men that speak to women like this are not tough guys, okay? What you are seeing is actually a display of estrogen. Everything he is doing there is somebody who is not a man. He is not tough, and he would never dare to speak to a man like that.
That's 100%
Milo
true.
defended me and explained that I am not to blame for the lame excuses that the feds have given us regarding Charlie Kirk's assassination, and that if we do need to have some spiritual searching in terms of what the Republican Party has become, that the time for that is now.
And yeah, to Candace's point, that's all 100% true. Tim Pool is not a tough guy. If he were to try to talk like that to any grown man, he'd get open hand slapped in the mouth, and there's nothing that he could do about it. And this is my point to all the young men out there. You should absolutely not look at that behavior and want to emulate it in any way. That is not how a grown man acts in any situation. Okay. You don't have to be emotionless, but you should be able to be in control of your emotions and raging out and screaming and pounding the desk because some female podcaster did content you didn't like. Yeah, that shit's pathetic, boys. So hopefully he gets his shit together because, again, that type of crash out is super embarrassing. Now, that's going to do it for this one. Oh, speaking of which, just got some breaking news. Tyler Robinson seen in the courtroom for the very first time. Some interesting stuff coming on that. We're going to cover all of that live tomorrow. Catch you on the next one.